So, direct to the point na lang. So, this video, or I mean this speech, I don't actually know if I'm going to call it speech or ideology. But because early this year, mid this year, I have a vision or premonition or whatever it is called that my mom, hindi na siya magdugay. So, to cut the long story short, I was planning to give him something special this December. If things went well, then I'm going to make a thankful message to her because I want to see her reaction. At the same time, I want to kanang-ganaan lang ko nga ma-appreciate niya ang iyang mga pagbuhat sa mga igsuon. Kasi gusto na ko i-acknowledge ang iyang mga hard work ba nga. Na nagko-miss ako mga igsuon nga mga di man perfect, lagay mi sayop, but nadagko mi nga na-control gid mi niya, nagiyahan, especially nga she's a pastor, then we grew up not perfectly but properly. So, kani siya, ako na siya gipadungog sa akong pamilya. Ay, ako na siya buhaton pagkuan kani itong pagka last vigil mama, then Pasko, nakadaon lang ako pamilya sa Pasko, then New Year, but I want it to make it more kanang mas madungog siya, nga mas maklaro, because I am going to upload this in YouTube at the same time in Facebook. The reason is maybe in the future, a few years from now, I can look back to this, then it would remind me about the moments that this moment gave us an experience. So I'm just gonna read the things that actually this is very long, but I just cut it short to save especially time sa niya. Nalabag ko yung uban nga gipangkat kay syempre wala naman sa mama. So, okay, so ang title ani is A Life Lived by Faith. My mother died at 59 years old. She was a pastor, a devoted follower of Christ, and a single mother of 3. Her life was never easy, but it was faithful. She raised 3 children without a without a partner, without a stable income, and without certainty of tomorrow. What she had was faith. And somehow faith was enough. She was betrayed by the man she married, cheated on, abandoned, and left to carry everything alone. My father was an addict. My mom suffered loneliness, judgment, sickness. She carried them quietly. People called her foolish, a martyr, a weakling. But they were wrong. She was strong in a way only heavens understand. She never taught us to hate our father. Even though at that time it is very hard. Instead, she taught us forgiveness. Even when he never showed up, no birthdays, no graduations, no Christmases, she still taught us to love him unconditionally. She chose grace when bitterness would have been easier. When we were young, we never felt poor. She made sure of that. We were truly one of a kind, Ma. I remember those days when the weight of the world pressed down on you so heavily that you couldn't even afford a matchsticks or the simplest meal. So again, this is my point of view. This is what I saw growing up or experienced. Yet in your quiet resolve, you shielded us, me and my siblings, from ever tasting that bitterness. We never felt the sting of poverty because you filled every void with your unyielding love and protection. Day blurred into night as you labored tirelessly, taking on any work that could bring in a few pesos, selling homemade foods, bracelets, necklaces, whatever it took to keep our home alive. I was just in elementary school, my older sister navigating high school, and my younger sister still nursing at your breast. You juggle it all. Even as side businesses faltered because people wouldn't pay what they owed, I still have that old list, ma. The names of those who borrowed thousands of pesos and never paid. But you never chased them down. Instead, you chose understanding, seeing their struggle as your own, offering grace where resentment could have taken root. Oh, how they talk behind your back, hating your kindness, spreading whispers of judgment. Yet you found the courage to remain their friend, to extend a hand even when yours were empty. And through it all, you turned away every chance for an easier path. So many men pursued you, drawn to your beauty, and a spirit as a young single mother, offering marriage and shared burdens. But you said no, time and again, because your heart was already full with us. You chose the harder road, the one paved with sacrifice, so we could walk one of hope. And look what fate brought, ma. In your deepest valleys, you prayed without ceasing, trusting God to turn ashes into abundance. He honored that trust, blessing you with a promised land, a steady income, properties we never dreamed a single mother without resources could claim. From nothing, you built everything, proving that perseverance in the storm yields miracles. Balik ko na. Proving that perseverance in the storm yields miracles. To all who are listening to this day, let our story be your anchor. In the face of unrelenting hardship, never quit, never surrender. When the nights are long and the depths mount, when the betrayal whispers and opportunities tempt you to compromise, hold fast. For as my mother showed us, true strength isn't in avoiding the struggle, it is embracing it with faith, knowing that God uses every trial to forge something unbreakable. Her life whispers to us all, keep going. The dawn always comes for those who endure. She even gave us a helper because she refused to let us feel the pain of growing up without a father. She carried that pain herself so we wouldn't have to. She swallowed everything. The cheating of my father, the addiction of my father, the loneliness she suffered, the judgment of the people, the silence, and the shame that was never hers to carry in the first place. She sacrificed her pride, her health, and her mental strength because she wasn't living for today but for our future. People told her to take revenge, to cheat back, to give up. But she said no. Not because it was easy, but because she always said, dili o ganahan unsay bation ninyo ug nailain tao sa balay. Dili o ganahan unsay insulti sa mga tao sa inyo. She chose us every time. I was about 7 years old when I fully understood. She wasn't just our mother, she was also our father. And she did both roles with dignity. She raised us, not perfectly but properly. With values, with discipline, with love, with prayer. In 2015, she was diagnosed with multiple aneurysm. The doctor said she was a walking time bomb. From then on came heart problems and countless illnesses. Yet God was faithful. He still used her. And He extended her life for 10 more years. 10 more years to preach, 10 more years to pray, 10 more years to love, 10 more years to finish her race. And I believe this is what I call mercy. Because God gave her an opportunity to pursue something beyond what is in her control. Because the sickness that God gave us, it is not something just a curse, but at the same time, it is mercy by giving us a chance to correct our life, to correct our family. My greatest regret is that I wasn't able to fulfill my promise. You know how much I loved Christmas when I was a child. Everyone in the family knew, because you will always tell the story. Coming home from school, playing cassette tapes, Christmas disco music, Little Drummer Boy, and my favorite, Frosty the Snowman, hence the name. Every Christmas, we had the same conversation. Nagpromise na ba ka na ako, dalon ko nimo sa Switzerland. My dream was to bring you there, to spend Christmas in the Swiss Alps. Cold air, Christmas music, playing, watching Home Alone, my favorite movie, just like we always did every December. I told you to stay healthy, to keep fighting, to not quit. Sadly, I wasn't able to complete that promise. But Ma, I will still go there. I will keep that promise for both of us. I will be successful, Ma, just like I always told you. There were times when I almost gave up. After I graduated from college, I suffered severe anxiety and panic attacks for 6 months. Every 2 to 3 a.m., I will wake up vomiting and with fever, panic, and even hallucinations. It was the hardest season of my life, but you were there. Every time I called, no matter how tired you were, no matter your own sickness, you answered. You stayed with me, you prayed with me, you showed compassion when others didn't. You never left. Through that suffering, I learned something deeper. Life is hard, but suffering is not meaningless. Like it says in James, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. That season taught me to trust God, to ask for wisdom, to believe without doubting. And in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, I saw God's promise, not just to you, not just to me, but to you. That our lives had purpose, that our pain was not wasted, that we were meant to be strong. When I compare my struggles to yours, Ma, mine were just coins. What you endured was deeper than I can ever imagine or experience. Yet you never quit. You stood firm, you believed, you stayed faithful to God, to us, and to yourself. You stayed pure. The greatest lesson, you were my inspiration. You were my lesson. Your life taught me this. Faith is not the absence of hardship. Faith is not the absence of hardship. It is choosing God again and again despite it. You were a fighter, a loyal friend, a genuine servant of God. Even in your deathbed, you did not quit. You did not surrender. You said that God is the only one who will make the decision, not the doctors. You finished well, and your greatest sermon was not spoken from a pulpit. It was lived through sacrifice, forgiveness, and unwavering faith. Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for choosing love. Thank you for choosing faith. I am who I am because of you. I love you, Ma. I learn. See you. See you in heaven.